Okay, so here's the everything that you're going to need to fill your ink cartridges. I have the BCH kit, the syringes that come in the kit, the few strips of tissue, and that's the setup. That's unfortunately, if you're going to refill your cartridges, you're going to need the tools to do it, and you're probably looking at least 15-20 minutes of your time. So what I'm going to do now is I'll stop the video and pull the cartridge out of the printer and continue the video in a minute. Okay, so I've taken the color cartridge, the HP61 cartridge, out of the printer, and as you can see, I'm set up with all the equipment. And the first thing you got to do is look at the top of the cartridge. And there's a label, and under the label there are 3 filling holes, so you've got to find out where the holes are. So what I do is I take the top of the syringe and gently just sort of press around on the label, and you're not going to see this in the video, but there are indentations that are created. So I found the 3 holes. Yeah, I've got all 3 holes. Now what you got to do is take your drill from the kit, which what you can do is punch through those holes. So I'm just going to put the camera down for a minute, and we'll be back. Okay, so I've punched through the 3 holes with the small drill they give you, and what you got to do is just don't push the drill directly into the cartridge. Punch through the hole and slowly push the drill down, twisting it as you go, because if you don't twist the drill as you're pushing, you'll just compress the sponge on the inside, and that you don't want to do that. So you sort of make yourself a little hole through the label and through the sponge, about that far, maybe about a ½ inch or so into the cartridge, just enough so you can get the syringe in. So now you have to identify which cartridge is which chamber in the cartridge is the correct color. And I just take a toothpick, as you can see, and what you do is you put a toothpick in each hole and pull it out, and that's the blue. The center one was the yellow, and the one on the left was the magenta. So you make sure you know which chamber is which, so you can get the the correct color into the chamber. So I've removed 2 milliliters of ink, and what we're going to do is fill the first cartridge. When you put it in, just punch the needle in straight into the bottle, and draw up the 2 milliliters, and I'll show you on the next video what it looks like after I inject it into the cartridge. So the syringe is into the cartridge about halfway, and you work the syringe in slowly. Don't punch it all in at once. Again, you don't want to compress the sponge on the inside of the cartridge. So as you can see, I'm on to the last chamber, the blue, and I just want to mention that you inject the ink very slowly, and if you happen to put too much ink, say 2 cc's was too much, you'll see the ink start to flow out the hole. Well, if that happens, pull back on the syringe a little bit to draw the ink back off the top of the cartridge. Not much, just a little bit, and then you're done. Pull the syringe out, and you're finished. And like I say, you inject it very slowly. Take your time. Okay, so I put a piece of transparent tape over top of the holes. I don't know if you can see it with this camera. It's unfortunately the best video camera I have. But that should cover the holes. Just be careful. Don't cover the little vent holes at the top of the cartridge. You see this area right here? These are vent holes. If you cover those, it's going to stop the ink from flowing properly. And you'll also notice that the ink did ooze out of the bottom of the cartridge. That's quite normal. What I do is I just let it sit for half an hour or so. Let the ink absorb into the sponge, and don't try and use it. If there's still, when you come back, if there's still a little ink on the bottom, take a paper towel, little tissue, and wipe it across the tissue to get the ink off before you put it into the printer. But that should do it, so you should be good to go. Don't let your cartridges run dry. There's a smart chip in there. If it runs dry, it will create an error message on the screen, and unfortunately you won't be able to print with the cartridge. So yeah, fill it before it goes dry. The ink level on the software will not show full, even though you filled it. The smart cartridge stops that from happening, but that's okay. You know you've got lots of ink in there. The cartridge may even show empty, but it will still print. Hopefully this was helpful, and I might do one more video just to show you the print quality. Okay, so it's been about a half an hour, and as you can see, the ink did wick a little bit onto the cellophane I had on the table. Again, that's quite normal. And just make sure before you put it into your printer that there's no more major stuff coming out of it. And once you think you can pat it a little bit on the tissue, once you think it looks good, you let it sit. And when you let it sit, don't let the bottom touch the cellophane either, because it will wick, as you can see quite clearly. It will even wick onto the cellophane, so you don't want to come back and find your ink cartridge in a big puddle of ink. So just be careful you don't have any part of the cellophane touching it when you set it down. It's the very bottom of the cartridge that it comes out of. So anyway, we'll see what happens when I do my print. So as you can see, I did a print. Might be hard to see on video, but it looks okay to me. You got your yellow, your magenta, your blue. Seems to work well, and you're going to save some money. I know it's a real messy job to do, but actually it's quite enjoyable if you take your time and make sure that you don't drop any ink over anything. But you're going to save a lot of money in ink, I'll tell you that. So good luck, and I hope it works out for you.